Hello, hi. I am Frederica, and this is Frederica on Thinking Free with Frederica. I am coming on today to talk a little bit more about some of the things that, we can let our mind just pass right on over, but it's really sometimes one of the key pillars to helping our heart heal, helping our life feel a lot easier, helping us to connect with joy. I mean, you're like, why is it so deep? Well, the thing is not that deep, but what it does can actually be very deep. Have you ever had a hole in something like your bike and it had a pinhole in it and air was coming out, or a nail in your tire, or a hole in a waterbed, or a water bottle or something like that, and it just leaks through. Well, sometimes the little thing is the thing that we actually need to help plug in some of those gaps that is actually allowing the goodness on the inside, the substance on the inside to leak out, right? So we're going to talk about one of those things, and one of those things is trust. On one of our previous videos, we talked about trust according to Psalm 37, where verse 3 says, "Trust in the Lord and do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed." Or in the Amplified, trust, rely on, and have confidence in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and feed securely on his faithfulness. Well, when we think about and when we take in that word trust, how we define it is important. It is key. So many people I've heard say at one time or another that they have trust issues, that they don't trust people well, that they have issues with trusting. And what they're saying is not necessarily just that they have issues trusting, that they have issue with putting their confidence in something. They have issue with being secure with something or a view, or they're not able to to have the amount of freedom in that situation that they want, because they feel like they have to be careful instead of careless, right? So I know we think careless is always can be a bad thing, but it's not. It just means that you can trust the environment that you're in. And so some of the worry, some of the things that's coming up, or that had come up in the past, that of dangers or threats, you're not anticipating anymore. Not because you want to just be an easy mark, but because you recognize that that environment is cultivated in such a way, and your body, your nervous system, your thought life lines up with the ability that you can navigate it. But more importantly, in a scriptural or biblical or Christian view, that you know that your Father in heaven and the kingdom of God is backing you, and so that you have support. So, what is the concern with saying that there's difficulty trusting? Well, it's not really a problem saying you have difficulty trusting, is if you choose to stay there. If you choose to say that you struggle with trusting people, trusting authority, trusting the banking system, trusting the government, trusting your own self, what you're saying is that you're struggling in the relationship with that thing, believing it, feeling safe with it. And you might say, well, why wouldn't I feel safe with myself? Well, you know you. Or you getting to know you, the choices that you made, the choices that you felt that you had to make versus the choice that you wanted to make, the outcomes of things. And just sometimes just not always being very kind in conversation with yourself. So you may not feel as secure with you, even though you're in this body 24 hours, 7 days a week. You may not feel as comfortable in that body because of difficulty trusting your decisions, past, present, and then concerns about future, which brings worry, right? So, what can we do? Well, The thing of it is that trust is built. It is not a 100% all the time or zero all the time. It is built. So you may have trust within yourself to know how to drive from point A to point B, but you may not trust that you get there on time. You know, throwing shots at my own self. But anyway, so what would you need to do to help build trust with yourself? Not just in being on time, but in the nature of your relationship with your own self. Well, you would want to develop a plan or a strategy. Come on, pray. A plan or a strategy, and not just leave it to chance, saying that you're going to fix it or that you're going to take care of it at some point, but you wake up or you get ready earlier, you allow yourself to make the choices that align with being there on time, and then you acknowledge that you got yourself there on time or before time, and you hold that within yourself, like as kind of like as a memorial, as something that you remember. You remind yourself, like, I can do this. And then you continue to let yourself make choices that align with what your desire is, what that goal is. And if you miss it, then you give grace to yourself to recalibrate, to regroup. We don't just give up, and that's the biggest thing. Like to not just quit, but to allow yourself to keep trying and keep going, because you're building trust with yourself, right? And as you build trust with yourself, then building trust with other people becomes more easy. All right. So I want to thank you all for taking time out to watch the video on today on trust, and maybe even giving you a deeper spin on it. We'll be back in later videos to talk about trust on even more levels. We will look at also how to delight ourselves and enjoy our life. We'll talk about commitment, committing our way unto the Lord, delighting ourselves in the Lord so that we can experience rest. Right. Well, you have a great rest of your day, and I thank you for taking the opportunity to spend a few moments with me so that we can think more free. Have a great day. Bye bye.